With all due respect to Aaron Judge, Joe, and Ron, I have to disagree. I think we're going to get the Aaron Judge we've seen in the first half of the year as well as the last couple of weeks in September. Now, does this mean we'll see him hit that all the time? No, of course not. He'll have his slumps just like everyone else, and in fact, Judge has actually struggled against left-handed pitching. He's only hitting .238 versus .298 against right-handed pitching. So most likely it'll be feast and famine. The famines will be really bad, but the feast will more than make up for it. To your other point about hockey, as much as I'm somewhat knowledgeable about football, I know absolutely nothing about hockey, so I'll let you handle that side of sports, Joe. So, looking at today's date, it is September 28th. There are 4 more games left in the Major League Baseball regular season, which means it's time for playoff predictions, because my predictions are always right. For this, I'm only going to go as far as the wild card game and the division series. Why only that far? Because we need a lot more than 4 minutes to talk about that big of a picture. First, the American League wild card, with Boston being able to clinch tonight with a Red Sox win and a Yankees loss. I'm going to assume that the Yankees will be the first wild card, and the Minnesota Twins have locked up the second wild card, so it's New York Yankees versus the Minnesota Twins at Yankee Stadium. This, I'll say hands down, will be a Yankees win. The Twins looked absolutely terrible in Yankee Stadium the other week. Historically, if you go back, the Twins have not won a playoff series against the New York Yankees. Now, I know history doesn't really mean everything when it's several years ago, and to that fact, only Joe Mauer remains from those playoff teams. But the roster makeup is still the same. Decent but not great pitching. You have good offense, a guy who could really beat you, although it's questionable if that guy Miguel Sano will be able to play in the playoff game. Against that, you have the resurgent Aaron Judge, you have Gary Sanchez, you have either Sonny Gray or Luis Severino starting. It's going to be hands down Yankees win. National League wildcard game, it's still up in the air, but I'm going to assume that it will hold as the Colorado Rockies at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Once again, I'll give it to the home team. The Diamondbacks have had a great September. They helped put the National League West briefly in their sights by trashing the Dodgers. So yeah, it'll be the New York Yankees and the Arizona Diamondbacks coming out winners of the wild card game. For the division series, it'll be Cleveland against the wild card team, which is the Yankees in this assumption, and Houston against Boston. I'm going to say Houston's going to beat Boston, not just because Houston's been a dominant team all year, but also Boston's dealing with a couple of nagging injuries. Cleveland and New York, it's a toss-up, honestly. I could see it going either way. One thing going for the Yankees is that they finally were able to get to Corey Kluber this year, which has been a bugaboo. So I'll say in this hypothetical matchup that the Yankees advance past Cleveland. As for the National League, it would be the Dodgers against the wild card winning Diamondbacks and the Cubs against the Nationals. I'm going to say for the Washington and Cubs game that the Nationals finally get out of their division series bugaboo and advance to the championship series. Unlike the Nationals, I don't see the Dodgers breaking out of their division series slump. So to sum up, the championship series would be the New York Yankees against the Houston Astros and the Arizona Diamondbacks against the Washington Nationals. Who would win from that? We'll get to that a little later and see if my predictions actually hold up this time. Until then, see you next time.